In this session, we're going to talk about ratio. Ratios have a close relationship to fractions. For example, let's look at this grid. It's got some different coloured squares in it. If we were looking at fractions, we'd write them out of the whole grid. For example, there's 3 red squares out of 12, so we'd write 3 over 12. But with ratios, we compare the colours to each other. So I could write the ratio of red to green. There's 3 red squares, and there's 4 green, so I would write 3 to 4, with a colon in the middle. Alternatively, you could write it the other way, green to red, would be 4 to 3. The order's important, it's respectively, so if you say red first, that's the number that must come first. Let's look at this toy box. Let's write the ratio of dogs to teddies. So there's 6 dogs, and there's 4 teddies, 6 to 4. So for every 6 dogs in there will be 4 teddies. However, ratios are just like fractions. We can simplify them. So as long as I can do the same thing to both numbers, I'm not changing my ratio. So I could half these two, and 6 to 4 could become 3 to 2. So for every 3 dogs, there's 2 teddies. Which, looking in the diagram, it shows us this. It's just the same thing twice, but it's still 6 to 4. Our ratio has not changed. Let's look at an example of sharing in a ratio. So I've got a chocolate bar that Simon and Jenny are going to share in the ratio of 5 to 3. So for every 5 pieces that Simon gets, Jenny gets 3. So let's split this chocolate bar. So Simon gets 5, Jenny gets 3. Again, Simon gets 5, Jenny gets 3. Simon gets another 5, and Jenny gets another 3. And that's the chocolate bar gone. So in total, Simon got 15 pieces, and Jenny got 9. We've split it in our appropriate ratio. But let's look at a different way of doing this, because sometimes it can be too big, and doing it like that would take us a long time. So all we're going to do is we're going to look at our ratio. We're going to add the numbers together in our ratio to see how many parts there are in total. We're going to divide our amount into those parts, and then multiply by the amount each person gets. So let's make that simpler in an example. Simon and Jenny are sharing £72 in the ratio of 3 to 5. So how many parts is that in total? 3 and 5 make 8. So I need to share £72 into 8 parts to find out what 1 part is. That's 9. So 1 part of our ratio is £9. Now Simon, he gets 3 of those parts, so he gets 9 times 3, which is 27. And Jenny, she gets 5 of those parts, so she gets 5 times 9, which is 45. So overall, Simon gets £27 and Jenny gets £45, and we have shared that appropriately in the ratio. Once you've done this, you can then check that your answer is correct by adding the 2 numbers together and making sure it adds up to the starting amount, which ours does. 27 and 45 make £72. Alternatively, you could think of these as fractions. Sharing in the ratio 3 to 5 would be like 3/8 and 5/8. So you could find 3/8 of 72, which is £27, and 5/8 of 72, which is £45, which gives us the same answer. So to recap, take your ratio, add the 2 numbers together, divide your total amount into that amount of parts. That'll give you 1 part. Then you just need to multiply by how many parts each person gets in the ratio.